I am a big fan, first of all, of Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith. I'm a big fan. All right, so I was listening to a CD one day. And so I'm talking to my significant other, I'm listening, and he talks about these positive affirmations. And there's enough energy in the world that you can have anything. It's abundant. Use it. Speak it into existence now, and it will be, right? That's my imitation of him. And so I said, all right, you know what? So I go to my significant other, and I say, babe, you know what? I am currently looking for and enjoying the delicious meal of Cornish hens and collard greens and cornbread with the different sauces of orange marmalade or cranberry for the Cornish hens. I am savoring that this evening already. And she says, you know what? I am actively enjoying seeing you wash all the pots and pans and all of the dishes. You've been working all day, and I'm sure you'll get that done before Sunday night football comes on. So I say, you know what, babe, let's just go on out to eat. We can just go on out to eat. I'm okay with that. That's what I meant anyway. All right. The reason I'm telling you this is that relationships aren't perfect, but they're about making perfect adjustments. Perfect adjustments. There's no one perfect. Perfect adjustments. I want to tell you how to make those perfect adjustments in your relationship so that they actually work. Because I don't know about you, but for me, I had to figure this out after the fact. Have you ever read a book and figured out something, and then you were like, man, if I would have known that? I started thinking about all the tips. I was like, man, you know what? I could have gone back to 3rd grade and made it work with Nikki Johnson, because she was the finest girl in the whole school. If I would have known if I had known then what I know now, I could have made it work. I could have saved Beyonce from Jay-Z. I could have done it. Man, but that's neither here nor there, okay? All right, so here's some cool things I want to share with you. Everything that we think we know about relationships for the most part, at least in the media, is wrong. It's wrong. But we listen to it as if it's fact, and it's wrong. It doesn't work for us. Do you know the #1 reason why couples break up? All right, finances. What else? Communication. All right, no and no, okay? All right, that's what we hear, though. That's a piece of it now. Don't get me wrong. Because some of y'all are saying, yes, it was. Trust me. I don't care what kind of doctor you are. I know what relationship I was in. I don't care how light-skinned you are, you're wrong, all right? So, the #1 reason why our relationships break apart is because we lose the connection. We lose the connection. When couples come in and talk about breaking up or divorce or going their separate ways, it's because he doesn't really understand me. She doesn't understand me. I don't get you anymore. She doesn't get me. We break up because of lack of connection. But we think it's because of finances. That's a part. We think it's because of communication. But the finances and the communication became bigger issues when we stopped connecting. So today is about making sure that you connect with your partner. Let me first of all share this. What the research shows is that in America, we break up and divorce faster than anyone else. And we break up for no reason. So we break up for the same reason that other couples in other countries, they go through the same phases and they don't break up. You'll have an unhappy marriage and a happy marriage. And how many of you are happily married? How many of you are married? No, I'm sure. Sorry about that, Dr. King. All right, so you're married. It was funny to me. Okay, so now you're married. You're married, and you want to be happy, but the goal is that you have to stay connected. And the key to that is being happy in your marriage. But we don't necessarily know how to do that, okay? So what they're saying is that when they're happy marriages go through the same phases as unhappy marriages. But it's how we think about the marriage that determines whether we stay in it or get out. So when you ever share stories, you'll find out that the couple that stayed together went through the same thing, but they stayed together. I'm going to tell you what they do so that you can apply that in your relationships, if that makes sense. Now, a quick side note, because I had a number of people when I was walking down the hallway say, oh, you're going to help me find a new mate. You're going to help me find a new mate. Let me give you one tip on that, and I'm going to go right back to making sure that you know what to do when you get that mate, okay? The first mistake that I see, the first opportunity rather, is that we have to be social. We have to be social. It is hard to have a date if you don't have an active social life. Well, in our mind, we think Beyonce is going to knock on my door. She is going to knock on my door. I know she's coming. You know, Morris and Boris and Idris, whomever you like, okay? Tyrese, I'm going to give the dark-skinned brothers their credit, okay? All right? They're going to knock on the door, and then we wonder why we don't have a relationship. But we're not social enough. We have to be out doing God's will in order to attract a mate. You have to be out. All right? Now, I'm not going to preach. I'm not going to get in trouble. But where was Ruth when she met Boaz? Where was she? She was counseled by a witness who knew what she was talking about and said, go in his field, go glean in his field, go do your job in his field. And then Boaz was like, wow, she is fine. Where you been? Now, I'm not telling any of y'all to go lay at a man's feet. Now, that's scriptural. That's not right context right now. I'm not telling y'all to do. I didn't tell you to do that. I didn't tell you to take a literal definition of what's in there. But basically what he's saying is that position yourself to be out doing what God has called you to do, and then God will send a man to help you. Or more likely, actually, that man's going to sit around without his rib, and you're going to come help him. All right? There's a lot of brothers out there eating fast food dinners when you could be helping them out. That's the only side note I'm going to say about being single. Be out doing your will. Be social, doing something that fits. That is the number one way that people, there's 3 ways that people meet if you're over 30. Okay? It's going to scare you. They say that for some of you, your mate is actually in your cell phone. It's someone you already met, or some connection of someone in your cell phone in the middle right here shaking your head. It is someone in your cell phone, someone in your cell phone that you met. Number 2, believe it or not, online. Online. 1 in 5 marriages start online now. Why? Because you position yourself to be out, someone finds you, and then you do real dating. All right, and then number 3, of course, is a hookup. You ask someone, you hook up, but here's the cool thing. Usually, it's someone within your social circle. So you are part of a restaurant group, or you're part of playing tennis, are you, I don't want to say working out, because that's a whole nother, but that spin class at Camp Creek on Friday nights is the bomb, though, but I just want to, all right, but I didn't say go there to meet your mate, I just said get your body right, but anyway. All right, so those are the 3 ways it's actually done. Does that make sense? You already know them and you ask for a hookup. Someone hooks you up anyway, or you're being social. You're being social and you're out and someone meets you. That's how you met your boyfriend or your girlfriend in high school. That's how you met them in college. You were out and about. But when we just isolate ourselves, we make it harder than what it really is. Okay? All right, so let's focus on relationships. How many of you know that there are 4 phases of a marriage? 4 phases. See, when I saw this, I was like, wow, this is amazing. I feel like I have to share this with God's people. 4 phases of a marriage. The first one is called infatuation. This is where you finish each other's sentences. Sometimes you dress alike. Man, I'm so in love with him. He gets me. I get her. You're a woman. I'm being a little bit stereotypical. You love football. It's fine with me. It's fine. Turn the game on, babe. I love it. All right? He's like, I don't have a problem with housewives, and, you know, I'll watch it. It's not that bad. We can talk about it if you want to, you know? And then after about 6 months to 2 years, the real person shows up. I don't like football. I can't stand the housewives. I don't even like Nene Leakes. I don't stand. Turn that mess off. That's what's wrong with our relationship. You think we're supposed to be like this. You know, men, we had those mantrums. But what it's saying is that when you first date, it's almost like a drug high, to where you are high on the energy of the other person. You are high, but it's not real love. It's that infatuation. It's that giddiness. It only lasts for a little while. And what happens after about maybe 2 years, you start thinking, you know what? The love is fading. I'm not feeling this. This doesn't feel the way it's supposed to feel. You're not feeling me. I'm not feeling you. And that's why you see divorce spikes around, you know, year 4. The first spike is year 4, because you've gone through that phase, and it's taking you a lot of time to get the money to divorce, and you try it, counseling, tried it, and then by year 4, you see a spike, okay? But that is normal. I'm here to tell you that's normal. That happens in every single relationship. You're like, I'm just not feeling it. Not feeling it anymore, all right? And then that leads to the second phase, which is post-rapture. This is where you go back to the person you were before you all started dating. I'm just being real. You know, it's like, I'm not saying you put on a show, but you feel more comfortable. You know, my real weight is really 205, okay? I've been keeping it at 185, but it's not me, you know. I'm not even a vegetarian. No, no, but you go back to the real person that you were. Does that make sense? You still were raised by the same family. You had the same baggage. You had the same preferences. And that's when you really start to see the real relationship. And a lot of people divorce instead of realizing that that's part of the process. And that's when you go to the third phase, which is discovery. And in discovery, this is where you discover a new relationship. This is where I can be me, you can be you, and then together we're in one relationship, but we don't have to finish each other's sentences. We don't have to hang together all the time. We don't have to like the same things. We can be interdependent, but within the same relationship. And that is where you have to make the decision to do the things that you don't feel to bring the feeling back. So I don't feel like taking you to the movies right now. You've called me everything other than a child of God, all right? In front of my family at the family reunion. You did that. You did that to me, okay? You did that to me. But if I'm going to do this, if I'm going to model God, he stays with us when we act up. He didn't say, no, I told you not to go to the club. You went to the club right after you finished praying. You prayed in the car before you went in the club, and you still went in. And then you saw a churchman riding by, like, where you going? And then you walked in anyway. I sent you so many signs, and you still went in, but he still forgives us, right? But we start tallying the things that people do. You did this and this and this, and I can't be with you. But he doesn't do that to us. This is where we have to do the things. We have to go on the date. We have to go on vacation when you don't feel like going on vacation to get the feeling back. That's discovery, okay? And then that's where you go to the final phase, which is connection. Now, I forgot to tell you, for those of you taking notes, I am going to electronically send you this whole presentation. Yes. Because I see some of you are struggling right now, all right? So I'm going to do you a favor. Plus, I was asked to do this, all right? So it's an email list going around. You sign up for it, and you'll get it automatically. So those are the 4 phases of a marriage. See, just knowing that, just thinking about it differently makes you feel better. Oh, we're in a phase. I didn't know I wasn't supposed to feel it the whole time. I have to do things to make the feeling come back, all right? Now, I'm going to give you 7 tips as promised. Number 4 was connection. So first phase is infatuation. Second phase was post-rapture. Third one was discovery. And the fourth one was connection. All right? I got nervous when he asked me a question. I was like, oh, man, I don't know. I don't know, Doc. Not on the same level. I don't know. Woo, thank goodness for listening to his CDs. All right, so I'm going to give you 7 keys to making your relationship work. Now, this is not my opinion. This is not my opinion, okay? This is based on the research of Dr. John and Julie Schwartz-Gottman, who are considered the thought leaders when it comes to relationships from a psychological standpoint, where they studied what happy couples do to stay together, and they found these 7 things. So I want to share them with you so you don't go and do the wrong things, all right? Because when I looked at this list, I was like, wow, I am terrible. Wow, thought I was doing it right, all right? Number 1 is you have to develop rituals for connection. You have to have rituals for connection. One of the biggest things that I see is that when couples get together, they stop dating. They stop dating. That doesn't work.